All right, in this lesson, we're going to talk about linear functions. Okay, a linear function is just simply a function that can be described by a linear equation. And the way that we normally write a linear equation that we talked about a little while ago was slope-intercept form. Y is equal to mx plus b. But in this case, we use function notation to show that the output value, or y, this is our output, y is our output, okay? But instead of putting a y, we write it as a function of x. In other words, what does x do, okay? So if our input is x, what value do we get from that equation for every particular value of x, okay? And so if it's a linear function, we normally would write it as f of x, or a function of x is equal to mx plus b. Now, a linear function, a couple of basic rules is in order for it to be linear, it has to have two variables that are not multiplied together, okay? They can be added together, but they cannot be multiplied together, okay? So you cannot say, you can say x plus y, but you cannot say xy or x times y. And also, each variable is only raised to a power of 1. So you can have x, y is equal to mx plus b, okay? But you cannot say something that's x squared, okay? You can't say y is equal to 3x squared or anything like that, okay? So because that would be raised to a power greater than 1, okay? So copy this into your notes. All right. So determine whether the function f of x equals negative 2x to the third is linear. Well, obviously, if this is raised to a power higher than 1, it's not going to be linear, okay? So this is raised to a power of 3, so that means it is not linear, all right? F of x equals negative 2x plus 4 plus x is linear? Well, yeah, because all we have is we're adding these two together, okay? So we can say f of x is equal to, and I'm going to say negative 2x plus 1x is negative 1x plus 4, okay, because we're not adding anything to that, okay? And the slope here, so in this case, my slope is equal to negative 1, and the y-intercept is equal to positive 4, okay? Write a rule for the function, for the linear function. Okay, so basically what we're going to do, okay, we're going to say y, or f of x, is equal to mx plus b, all right? So we're going to look, what's the y-intercept? Well, the y-intercept is at 2, okay? So the y-intercept is at 2. What's my slope? Well, 1, 2, my rise is 2, my run is 1, so 2 over 1, or just plain old 2. So we got f of x is equal to, so we can say f of x, okay, is equal to 2x plus 2, all right? Write a rule for this linear function. Okay, so now here we don't have a graph. We could always plug it in to Desmos or someplace, okay? Or we can just simply say, use the point slope form, y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1, all right? And we can say, I'm going to use the two positive values down here, just simply because I like the positive rather than the negative. And we're going to say y minus, I'm going to use the small one, 4 is equal to m, we don't know what m is yet, x minus 1. Okay, so to find m, remember, for slope is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay, so when I do that, that gives me 10 minus 4 is equal to over 3 minus 1. 10 minus 4 is 6 over 3 minus 1 is 2, which reduces down to 3. So this would be y minus 4 is equal to 3 times x minus 1. Okay, so I want to write it, though, in the form f of x is equal to mx plus b. Okay, so I'm going to simplify this first of all. So I'm going to say y minus 4 is equal to 3 times x is 3x minus 3 times 1 is 3. Okay, get the y by itself, so plus 4 and plus 4. Okay, so we end up with y is equal to 3x plus 1. Now, the only thing is that y is my output, so that's a function of x. So I'm just going to write it as f of x is equal to 3x plus 1. Okay, that's written as a rule for, so the rule for this linear function, this set of data over here, is 3x plus 1 as a function of x. All right. In this case, the last example we're doing, 4x plus 2y equals 20 in the slope-intercept form. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite that 4x plus 2y is equal to 20. I'm going to just solve for y, just like we did the last problem. Okay, so I'm going to subtract the 4x. I'm going to say minus 4x. 4x is canceled out to 0. We're left with 2y is equal to 20 minus 4x. Divide everything by 2. Divide all three of them by 2. Okay, 2's cancel out. Y is equal to 10 minus 2x. Remember, we want it to be as f of x is equal to mx plus b. We want the x to come first. Remember, so this is plus a negative. So we can say y is equal to negative 2x plus 10. And when we rewrite it in function notation, f of x is equal to negative 2x plus 10. Okay, so that does it for that. And make sure you've copied those notes down from the beginning of the lesson. And make sure that you ask me any questions if you have any. We'll talk to y'all later on.